It's July the 9th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Wednesday, more wonderful than before, because today, baby, we're feeling vanilla. Jeremy Lambert is here. He's got his vanilla latte. I'm drinking vanilla Diet Coke. No, I'm not.
I do have vanilla cream in my coffee, so yeah.
Look at us. We're getting all vanillaed up. Two white dudes podcast.
Should I be eating vanilla ice cream at 11 o'clock?
I think that'd be very funny. I think it'd be worth a bit. I don't see anything wrong with this. For those of you who have been checked out from our show for the last 2 days, what's wrong with you? We are scheduled to be joined at 11 a.m. Eastern by AEW and Ring of Honor star Blake Christian, the one and only Vanilla Baby. We've been waiting on this one for a while because, come on, man. How could you not want to talk to this man? We look forward to that. So we're going to do that. Plus all the other stuff. But Jeremy Lambert's here. How are you feeling?
Well, should I get in the weeds and explain the story of how this come together? Or should I wait until I've reconfirmed with Blake? So good. I do have that much. You know, I'm always scared about these things following through. But should I tell the origin story of how this all came together?
Does it involve him, or should we wait until he's here?
It involves him. Like, yeah, he knows about it.
You can tell the audience. By the way, I do when we get to 11 and Blake is here, this is what I do expect from our pals in the chat. Lots of just drop your vanillas and your vanilla babies. That's what I want to see when we get to 11. You can do it throughout the show, let's face it, but like, come on. That's what we want to see for Blake Christian as a big welcome for the man when he arrives.
Letting my lovely wife know that she might have to make me a vanilla ice cream cone and bring it to me.
Do you have ice cream cones?
Yeah.
You have the cones. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. We do have cones. We do have vanilla ice cream because the wife said that it's summer, and so we kind of get a lot of ice cream in the summer. But I love a good root beer float, and so on the last grocery order, she put vanilla ice cream and root beer on it. So now I have like a root beer float every night, which is probably not healthy, but I don't really care. So yeah, I'm loading up on the root beer floats during this summer.
One of the questions, just so people get an idea of the incredible journalists that we are, one of the questions that I will be asking Blake Christian is, if he goes to France, does that make him French vanilla?
Fair. Good question.
These are important questions, and they are topical. I mean, listen, AEW is not going to France, but they'll be in the UK for Forbidden Door, and on the other side, WWE is going to be in Paris for Clash in Paris at the end of September. So, why not?
So, as everyone knows,
I hope he knows how bad this interview is going to be.
Leave a thumbs up on the video.
Yes, please do. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, especially for this one. And you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or your statement read on the air. Supports the channel, supports the creators, lets us know that you want to guide some conversation. Get in on it. Go ahead. Do you want to tell them the story now then?
Yeah. As everybody knows, we've wanted Blake Christian on the show for a while. I originally wanted him for the original Supercard of Honor week before it got moved, which was in May. I messaged AEW, and I got ignored. Can you believe that, Joel? They just ignored me. I was like, all right, whatever. So then this week, over the weekend, I was like, you know what? I still want Blake Christian on the show. It's ROH this week. He's supposed to be challenging for the world title, but Tony Khan doesn't book what's on the television show. He just books fun dream matches. Bandito Takeshi is going to be really good. So I just messaged Blake directly. I was like, hey, do you want to do this morning show we're on? I have no idea if he knows what we do, how much we love him on this show. But I was like, do you want to do the show? He's like, yeah, I'd love to. That sounds great. I was like, all right. I had to clear it with AEW, obviously. I messaged AEW. I'm worried about messaging AEW. I'm not worried. I'm just like, I need an answer, Like, I need to confirm this. So I emailed AEW, and then I messaged some pals in AEW. I was like, can you make sure that this gets cleared? And they're like, yeah, we'll make sure this all gets worked. instead of going through the email, the people went through a direct line, and we made sure it got cleared. It's not, the sexiest story in the world, but for the hassle of getting ignored last time to having to message multiple people, we got it all worked out, fortunately.
There you go. We did it, baby.
Bryan Danielson did clear this interview.
That's about time. I mean, we've been waiting for Bryan to give us clearance on an interview. Anyway, we got lots.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. In the Weeds presents Vanilla in Ohio and Toronto. Ohio's full of vanilla. Having been there and knowing someone who lived there, it's pretty vanilla. Yeah, like the towns are not vanilla, but the people are. Actually, I guess the towns are vanilla. It's the people are. I don't know, man. You get what I'm saying. Yeah. They're all criminals. They're all criminals in Ohio.
The criminals in Ohio? What?
Yeah, aren't they? Isn't it just a colony of criminals in Ohio?
Let's not put that out there.
Well, I mean, it's not my town. I don't live in Ohio. It's not my state. I live in Canada, where people are notoriously nice unless we're not.
Fair.
Yeah, nobody tell Bryan Alvarez who we are, by the way. If you missed yesterday's show, Xeno Hours XP1, the video came, and man, was it great. I popped on the show specifically to see it. I did a quick 5-10 minute run-in just to say hello. And it was fantastic. The best cameo you could imagine. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again in July. You got it now. It's open. We're back home on our channel. So if you're not getting for those XP points, you don't know what you're missing. But now you do. Now you do know what you're missing because you've seen the Bryan Alvarez cameo that comes with winning the XP points. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah, nobody tell Bryan. Let everybody. We're gonna keep doing this until he catches on to it. Like, at some point, he's going to have to catch on to it. He's going to realize, like, I keep doing cameos for this show called In the Weeds. What is In the Weeds? And then he's going to realize it's a Fightful morning show. And then he might stop doing the cameos. But until that point, nobody spoiled the bit.
What's funnier is that I thought maybe he'd want to join us on the show, but then I remember he's on the West Coast and he'd have to wake up at like 7 a.m. to do this. Maybe 8 o'clock. Yeah. But I guess he's got kids, so maybe he's up. I don't know. I don't know what his schedule is like. I don't stalk Bryan Alvarez. What do you think I am?
At some point we might be able to get Bryan on. But first, I want to make sure the bit lives on for a little while longer.
Yeah, why not? Hey, some news dropped this morning. WWE, TKO, they announced that they're expanding their partnership with Big 12 Conference. If you like football and you like wrestling, well, guess what? You're going to get some SmackDown episodes on weekends where there are going to be Big 12 Conference matchups, including the Week 0 matchup between Iowa State and Kansas at the Aer Lingus College Football Classic in Aviva Stadium. That's in is that Ireland? Where is that?
Yeah, Week 0. Yeah, Week 0 they go to Ireland. They did it last year. They're doing it this year.
My God. So SmackDown's going to be at the 3 Arena in Dublin the night before that big fight football. I'm trying to use alliteration to get there. And then on October 3rd, they're going to have SmackDown at Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, going into another game on the 4th. On October 24th, another SmackDown at the Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona. It's where TNA just held one of their events. So they're going to be doing something in Mullet Arena before the game the next day. And then on the 31st of October, that's also a Friday, SmackDown, Halloween SmackDown at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, ahead of a game that is on November 1st. So there you go. It's going to happen. Football and wrestling. If you're a fan of both, you can go watch both on Big 12 weekends and Big 12 markets for $12. No, it's not $12, but so they should integrate $12 tickets into this promotion. Big $12 tickets.
That's actually good. They won't. That's way too cheap for them.
Big $120 tickets.
Yeah. Big $212 tickets.
That's big 112.
That's more their speed.
Oh no. Well, why would we do that? Why can't we have nice things once in a while? Although I did see that apparently Ticketmaster is sending some emails to people who bought tickets for Evolution. Those who bought upper bowl tickets are being they're being moved. They're being seated in lower bowls because it looks like WWE is going to be closing off the upper bowl. Not a surprise there. To fill the lower bowls for Evolution. There it is. It's the Evolution bug, baby. $1,200 tickets is probably the play. Big $1,200 seats.
Them moving people for Evolution is not a super surprise. Like, they don't want the lower bowl looking sparse when there's people in the upper bowl. So, move them down. Sure. Hope they realize this was a mistake.
Oh, I don't think that they think this was a mistake. They think that this is extra income on a weekend of events.
Probably.
They've got their Saturday night's main event squared away. They're going to have the tickets. It's going to be busy. It's going to be full. They're happy with that. They've got the NXT show. It's in a smaller venue, but they sold tickets at an amount that they wanted to get the amount of money that they needed. So they're going to be okay. They're not going to complain. They're going to chalk it up to, we wanted to do a weekend, and I hope they don't blame the draw of the women on this. They shouldn't. Do you think they'd be a little smarter on that? But yeah, they knew. I just don't think they cared. Big difference.
I don't even think Matthew's saying they're going to use this as an excuse not to do another all-women show. They don't need this as an excuse. They didn't do an all-women show for 7 years, and that one did well. That one drew well. That one was well received. They don't need an excuse to not do it. Like I said last week, I don't think they ever wanted to do this. If they did, they would have done it. They would have done it in the past 7 years. They could have easily done this during the pandemic. Nothing was going on then. Could have run an all-women show during that. I don't think they wanted to do this show. It just became a thing. And so they're like, all right, fine. Here's your Evolution show. And then they tacked it on to the end of this weekend because it made the most sense for them. So if they don't do it again, I don't think this is the reason why. I legitimately think if they don't do it again, it's because they don't want to do it again.
And this is a company, like you said, that has spent a lot of time and effort trying to put their women's division on par with the men. So if anything, this is just fodder for them to say, see, maybe we don't need to give an entire show to them because they already have Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. They're equal footing, which, like, they're not. If you want to talk about like ring time or, comparison of members of the roster, things like that, it's not the same. But I think in WWE's mind, they are giving more time to the women now than they ever have, and that's, quote, good enough. I don't foresee this becoming an annual event. They clearly haven't wanted to make it an annual event. They only put it on when they are pressured to in a here damn moment. So again, I go back and I keep harping on this. The first Evolution came because they went to Saudi and only 2 women went with them. Neither of them wrestled on the show. One was actually on the show. And as a result, they turned a house show in Uniondale, New York into this PLE, into this Evolution show. And that did well on the backs of people like Ronda Rousey and, obviously Charlotte and Becky had a great match, and Nikki Bella was a big part of this as well. So that was a big show for them. They wanted to do it this year. Feels like just because they had the arena for the weekend and they said, sure, we'll do it. Shut up. Here it is. Here, damn. And there are going to be great matches on the show. I see chats talking about Becky Bailey and Lyra. That looks like a great match. Io and Rhea Ripley looks like it'll be a fun match. You've got the Trish match. It's going to be fine. I don't expect a huge like Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton, amazing show, but it'll be one of the nostalgia matches that people look forward to. The Battle Royal, same thing. Not thinking it's going to be the most amazing match ever, but they're using as many women as they possibly can to get this thing over, including Nikki Bella once again. And Charlotte's, Charlotte's in that tag team with Alexa Bliss, going back to who was in the first one. And they'll be going after the tag team titles in the 4-way. There is a good card that's been set up. Just this show didn't really need to happen in the eyes of some. but it's happening, and it's just not getting the care that maybe it deserved to have. It's just been thrown together, and it's big in terms of the amount of matches on the show, but otherwise it exists, and I don't expect it to be replicated again for another 5 years, if that.
Yeah. On paper, it's a good card. The build hasn't been great. The matches should be good. It should be a fun night. I don't know how it's going to do business-wise. Early signs are not great. And I mean early signs, like we're 4 days from this event. But ticket sales-wise, not great. I'm sure it'll draw well on Peacock. People will watch and everything. I'm sure it'll be fine. But if they don't do it again, it won't be because it didn't sell this time around. It will be because they just don't want to do it again.
Speaking of Charlotte, by the way, the Players Tribune article, I know you guys kind of touched on it a little bit yesterday, but I do want to point out it was very well written. It was very passionate and very raw. It was emotional, and I think it's something that a lot of people should put on their reading lists if you haven't already. She not only goes through her own history, but also just her own fears and the realities of women in wrestling. I think one quote, one screenshot that's been going around is the idea of what is your prime as a woman versus what is your prime as a man, and the age gaps. How there are 39-year-old women who are just now, they feel like they're hitting their prime. Charlotte being one of them. She feels like she's doing the best work of her career, but she also feels like aging out is a real thing in her world and her as a woman in wrestling. Whereas she mentions Punk, McIntyre, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. She mentions all these names that are pushing 40, in their 40s, pushing 50 in some cases. And that's not fair. And I agree with her wholeheartedly. I know this is a conversation that you and I have kind of touched on. It's also not necessarily a conversation you and I need to have because we are not women in that space. But I do want to touch on the fact that she's absolutely right. I hope more women who are involved in wrestling commentary, talking about all that, do bring this up and do discuss it, because it's very true and it's jarring and it's glaring. And I'm glad that she brought it up in a very, very well written piece for Players Tribune.
Charlotte brought it up. Becky's brought it up in the past. There's an interview, I think it was on the Raw recap. Big E has mentioned it on, that was one of the post shows. He mentioned it as well. It's a conversation that should be had because women are phased out because of their looks. That's what it is. Once you get to a certain age, you start looking older. This goes for everybody. You start looking older, and so they want to phase you out, because for the women, it is more of cosmetic than it is for the men. CM Punk can have the gray in his beard and look gruffy. Is that a word? I don't know. Gruff, sure.
Scruffy is the word you were looking for.
Yeah. And people are just like, oh, look at it. He's aging fine. It's okay. But Charlotte has a wrinkle, and they're like, oh, she's too old. Can't do that. She can't be on television anymore. And it's bullshit. And that's that. It's bullshit.
It is.
It is nice to see someone like Trish, continue to come back, continue to have big spots every time she does come back. And I hope that continues to be the norm. The problem is you have to, in their mind, continue to probably look like Trish. And that is a very high standard. And that should not be the standard. But it probably will be. And this is just how they do things. And again, it's bullshit. Now, with, I'm going to say technology, but with the care they put into themselves nowadays, with all the different things, this goes for men and women, with all the different
And it is technology, by the way.
Yeah.
It is technology, but go ahead.
With all the different treatments, like, people can still look as good at 50 as they did at 30. So hopefully because of that, women will continue to get the opportunities into their 40s. On the flip side, I hope that the women do not have to put all this treatment, put all this care, do all these things to themselves just to continue to get a spot on television if they are good enough to keep being on television.
Beauty standards are an unfortunate thing that continues to persist in, honestly, in everywhere. It's not even just on TV. I mean, so happy belated birthday to my mom. Her birthday was yesterday. She had, for years, she was, like most people, coloring her hair after, starting to go gray. And then eventually she just kind of said, and she said, I'm done with it. But you know what she did before she did that? She asked people in her circle and her family, do you mind? Do you care? And the answer from everyone was a unanimous no. Why would we care if you decide to, go gray naturally, go by your natural hair color and just live? And that is a sentiment that persists in the world. And my mother is not an on-camera person. In fact, she hates being in any photo. She's not a camera person. But that was part of her aesthetic, her look, and she cared about that. I also had problems when I was, when I started going white in my beard. And I made a joke. I was like, this really only happened in the last 3 years. My kid is 3, by the way. So totally unrelated. Just adding that my kid is 3. But the point is, started going white. And I was like, once in a while, I would color my beard for big events. So when I was doing like a WWE media day, I would color my beard. And then I stopped. I went to Mania natural like this. And I was like, I'm not going to go over this. And I don't care. As long as I look good enough and I feel good, that's what I care about. And that's what I hope we can get to on the platform of wrestling or anybody who's involved in entertainment, be it male, female, otherwise. You should just be comfortable in your own skin and allowed to feel that way, not pushed to look a certain way to fit some aesthetic that's bullshit. And I think that Charlotte and others, Charlotte most recently, hit the nail on the head. You should be able to feel comfortable and confident as long as you're able to do your job and feel like you're doing it to the best of your ability at the best time of your life. That should happen.
I do think it's changing a little bit, by the way. I mentioned Trish. Asuka is another one who is over 40 and still booked strong, still booked regularly with everything. I mentioned Becky. She's 38. She's still booked strong, booked regularly. Obviously, a difference between one side of 40 and the other side of 40, and we'll see what happens when they get to the other side of 40, if they start being phased out or anything like that. Nikki Bella coming back, another one who she's going to probably continue to be booked strong and everything. I think with women being phased out, the history is that, I'm trying to make sure I word this correctly, because in my head, I know what I'm saying, but I don't want it to come off wrong. And I also want to make sure, again, it sounds as good as it does in my head. Men have a longer history in wrestling than women, right? So Ric Flair wrestling in the 80s and then the 90s and the 2000s. So like he can just continue to wrestle even as he gets older because we're used to a staple of Ric Flair because he's been there. Hogan, even guys today, CM Punk, Cody, all these guys today, they have been around for a while. They've been on television for 20 years. So even as they get older, it's like, well, they've always just been a staple on television. We're just going to keep them on television. Women don't necessarily have that same history. So we haven't seen them age as much. Now, there are the Mullahs and Mae Young. Oh, look, Mullah and Mae Young were on television for the longest time, even as they got older.
They weren't used at, well, I mean, they
were kind of prominently used.
No. I was going to say they were used as sexual objects, although Mae Young was in a comedic way. That was the
Right.
one thing, was presentationally. They were there because they were respected veterans of their time, but they weren't being used as anything other than a comedy spot.
Right. But the women, when they started wrestling regularly, speaking just WWE here, was the kind of the Trish and Lita era, right? That's when it was okay, women are used in more than just brawl and panties matches. Like, we're actually giving them match time at this point. So that was sort of the start of when women were featured on television regularly in a wrestling role. And now we're getting to the point where Trish and Lita are older. And again, with Trish, she's still on TV, she's still wrestling. My point, as I'm again attempting to make here, is that we just didn't have the women history of, in the 80s they were prominently featured on television, and then they're still wrestling in the 2000s and everything. There were obviously women wrestlers in the 80s, but again, the prominence was much different compared to your Flairs, your Funks, your Rhodes, and all them. For WWE specifically, women's wrestling started it started when Stephanie McMahon created it with Evolution. I hope everyone kind of gets what I'm saying, is that we haven't seen the aging and phasing of women as much because it hasn't been as prominent. And now that, because women haven't had prominent spots until the last 20 years, now that they have, we will see more. I hope, this is my hope, we will see more women as they get older still be on television and still be in featured roles. Now, Trish is a part-time person. Lita, when she comes back, she's a part-time person. It'll be different if people want to do it full-time. You know, Charlotte might be someone who wants to continue to do it full-time. Will she continue to have a spot? She should. Becky, same thing. And then it just becomes a question of, all right, if they don't want to do it full time, is that their decision, or is that we want to go younger decision? Which maybe we get answers to in the next 5 years.
You know what's really upsetting about this whole thing? Scott Stanford finished up today.
Okay.
15-year career. The man just left. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. If you want a reason to be upset with WWE, it's because of Scott Stanford. But seriously, no, there's not much more that I can add about women in wrestling and in entertainment, because again, it's a longer conversation for people to have in other spheres. I think we've made our points, and again, we support it. We agree that it can be a lot better and can be treated better, and we'll see if it does get better over the next little while. There are little touch points that have been made that have made women's wrestling better in terms of presentation, in terms of longevity, things like that. But there are ways that can always be better. I think Charlotte started reopening that conversation, just like Becky had, and many others had started as well.
Yeah.
So last night I started getting a few messages from people. Hey Joel, you coming to New York for Slammiversary? And I was like, no, I don't think I want to. And they were just like, are you sure? You should probably consider coming to Slammiversary. And I was like, okay, let me look into this. So I started looking into this, Jeremy. I was able to find a round trip, $250. But here's the thing. I'd be taking the 7 a.m. flight out of Toronto. 7 a.m. out of Toronto on the Sunday, which is Slammiversary morning. And I'd be leaving at 6:15 a.m. Monday morning. Coming back probably just in time to do this show. But I don't have a spot to do the post show after Slammiversary, because I don't think I would get a hotel if I'm leaving at 6 a.m. that morning. What do I do? What do I do, chat? How can I do the post show?
Who cares about the post show?
I mean, the post show is kind of the whole reason that we do this TNA coverage on our website.
I guess
You know
so,
this.
but yeah.
It's kind of the more important part of this. And I can't leave Jensen high and dry. Cresta is threatening to also go to the show because she is in New York. But what do I do? What should I do, friends? Knowing that I don't know where I could do the post show. Film it in Cresta's Panda. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't even think Cresta was planning to do the post show. I would do it because post show from the airport, I don't think the Wi-Fi would work. Stand outside of Andrew Zarian's and steal his Wi-Fi? Thought about that. I did text him about this. He told me come in Saturday because they're doing a thing. And I was like, I'm not coming in Saturday because I'm already poor. This isn't going to be a thing. I'm coming in for the show. I can't do Ring of Honor because they're not going to be in New York that weekend. Sorry, Pile Driver Finisher. Go to Wimbledon instead. You'll have a better time. I don't have the money for Wimbledon. Again, review it the next day is not an option because it's Monday at that point, and that there's Raw that night, which we both know between Raw and a TNA pay-per-view, regardless of which one's going to be watched by more people. Take a guess. It ain't Slammiversary. How confident am I in TNA getting that new TV deal? So, I want to point something out to people. For those who didn't see this, the John Wall Street released an interview / article with Carlos Silva. By the way, Sean's talking to Carlos Silva today, so I'm sure that there will be more conversation here. In the article with John Wall Street, Silva mentioned that they are working with a partner, CAA, Creative Artists Agency, into getting a new deal for TNA to get them off of Access TV. And even Carlos pointed out the fact that Access TV is not a sports property. They don't do sports. They want to get it off of Access because it just doesn't work. I want people to remember what happened the last time TNA / Impact worked with a talent agency to get a new TV deal. Jeremy, are you aware? Do you remember this?
No.
They worked with the United Talent Agency. The year was 2014. TNA wound up on, do you remember?
Pop?
Destination America.
Oh.
So
Pop was better.
People asking Nick Khan helping, wasn't he with CAA? Nick Khan actually is an investor in the John Wall Street project. So he's not part of CAA. He has connections with CAA. He was at CAA before he went to WWE. There is a possibility that there is some bridge building that was there, but Nick Khan's not directly the one who'd be helping in this case. So it reads a certain way when you know what John Wall Street is. They are certainly looking for a TV deal. We know this. This has been reported. This has been out there. TNA has been wanting to get off of Access forever. But yeah, this is Carlos is out there doing his brand, doing his spin, and this was very funny to me because some of the conversations afterwards were very much like, do you remember the last time they had an agency? That doesn't mean it's bad. It could also just mean that the agency is guiding them. The person who was working with the talent agency back in 2014 was a woman named Dixie Carter, whose business acumen wasn't exactly known as the highest of such. So yeah, Ryan Lambert saying, wasn't Destination America a fishing channel? It's still sport, and that was kind of what they wanted. Where they end up, nobody knows. Nobody knows publicly right now. So they want to go live 52 weeks a year, but they also think that they're worth 10 million. Was that what it was? 10 million?
Yeah, 10 million.
10 million, which is not nothing, and it's not massive. So I don't know what their expectation is for going live 52 weeks a year either, because that's a lot of money, and you got to rent a lot of stuff, and that's what they do now. They don't own rings or cameras or really much. They have talent. So I don't know. And no, WWE is not going to buy them. So there's just no incentive at that point. Put them on A&E.
We've talked about the TNA TV deal. I don't know what the market is. Clearly they're looking, as they should be. But what is the market for a TNA TV deal? They're the third brand. The top two brands got good deals. But the top two brands got good deals based on a proven history. Not necessarily AEW, because they got a deal without any real proven history off the jump. But they had really strong backing and the right connections. But they got re-upped thanks to their history. TNA doesn't have a history of drawing that well. And when you're the third brand, like, how much are you going to draw? I know they got the WWE tie-in, and Like that looks okay to an extent. But what are you selling with the WWE tie-in? Trick Williams? NXT names? Okay. Tony Khan tried to sell Chris Jericho as ROH. Nobody bid on that. Chris Jericho, theoretically, has a bigger name than Trick Williams does. Certainly when he was trying to sell ROH compared to TNA now. It's like, oh, Trick Williams might appear sometimes. Like, all right. I just don't know what the market is. And 10 million per year, I guess, I mean, that's a lot of money to me. You know, in the grand scheme of things, is that a lot? I don't know. Like, it sounds like a lot, but, you know, is it in the television world, is 10 million too much? Not enough? Again, it sounds like a lot, but maybe it's not. As far as like Tony declining an ROH TV deal, yeah, if the deal wasn't good, he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, you don't just hop on the first deal you get, right?
Yeah. But that doesn't, but the market clearly wasn't out there to get a great deal, because if there was a great deal, Tony would have taken the deal.
By the way, the people mentioning the WWE connection will have to be part of the pitch. It is. It's already part of the pitch.
Yeah.
They're very much of the belief that they are getting a deal that they want because of their WWE connection, because of the WWE partnership, not because they're TNA. They have seen growth. They can prove their business has seen growth. They can also, and this was the most fascinating part of that article, by the way, finally confirmed after a decade solid of everyone just saying it without putting it on the record. They are not profitable. TNA is not profitable. They finally put it out there. It's finally on the record. It's finally put out in an article with Carlos Silva having done the interview. TNA is not profitable. Has not been for a long time. What does that mean? Well, first of all, it confirms something we've known. Second of all, it also shows that like 10 million might be enough for them to run on a shoestring budget, or it might be enough for them to make enough changes to make their television and their product profitable. They also might be thinking that television is the first step to growing their business beyond just TV. Look at what AEW and WWE are doing. TV is a stepping stone to other avenues for their performers, for their IP, for the things that they do. Mobile games, video games is one. That's just like one idea. Branching out into other markets, the C4 partnership that WWE has, right? Getting energy drinks, Minute Maid, all the branding deals. AEW working on branding deals as well. Like they've got the DraftKings Sportsbook stuff, but they also work with like that Drink IQ, whatever they're calling it, branding. They get those sponsors, and that comes with getting your product out there. And for them, for TNA, they believe that their product could make them profitable by being seen by more eyes, which is true. Isn't live TV super expensive? It is expensive. It is. And also you need a crew that knows how to work live TV. And they've been testing this, right? They've done every quarter they're doing a live TV. They're doing one after Slammiversary on the Thursday. That's going to be fun. They're learning on the fly / they have some people who have experience. And that's been good. Ryan asking when's the last time TNA was profitable? I would argue TNA's never been profitable. And people think I'm saying that in jest. I don't think there was ever a time that TNA actually made a profit, because I think they spent most of their money getting the best talent that they could for the money that they had. And they continued into the Scott era. Continued, like every era has always tried to bring in one big name that they could get to keep them going. For that, I don't think they've ever been profitable. And it's okay, by the way. Like AEW wasn't profitable for the first 6 years. Granted, now we're at 23 years for TNA, so it's a little different. You'd expect some profit at this point, but they've also had so many stumbles along the way. AEW again, and then maybe this is praising for AEW, is the fact that it took them 5 years and they started seeing profits. It's not a huge profit, but it's profit nonetheless. If TNA can get to that point, well, then they can hopefully turn their game around and start looking. But yeah, it was a big deal that they actually put it on the record. It's out there, not profitable.
They need a TV deal. They've always needed a TV deal. That's always been the carrot, and that'll continue to be the carrot. I just don't know if it's going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think there's a great market for it. I don't think there's a great market.
You have Scott buy them back, call them TNA MLP, MLP-TNA, and you're back to square one.
Everybody's looking for a TV deal. Like, where's the market for TNA? What network wants a third wrestling promotion? What network is out there that wants this? The typical networks that have had wrestling, they've got the top 2 wrestling promotions. Fox Sports, you gonna go there? They had TNA at one point, but that was when they were the number 2 promotion. And that was when did those shows air? Like 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Hey man, I was coming back from school.
Yeah, I remember getting home from school and watching TNA. Like, that's the only network that I can think of that, like, maybe there's a inkling, but I don't know how how quickly they want to get into things. Because remember, they were reportedly with AEW, and then that never came to fruition. So I don't know how much Fox is like, yeah, we really want another wrestling program. Again, a third wrestling program at that. The third brand. And what does Fox Sports do if you get on Fox Sports? It sounds like it's a better deal. And it is. But how much does that actually, like, boost your visibility if you are on Fox Sports maybe Thursday nights? Let's say you keep your same time slot. Like, how much are you drawing from that? I don't know.
People pointing out, what about Tubi? And I saw Jose say, Fox got Evolve on Tubi. They're fine. It's true.
It's Tubi, though. Like,
yeah.
Evolve's there. How many people watch Evolve?
I mean, we know one, and he co-hosts the show every Tuesday and Thursday.
Like, I watch it. I don't watch it live, but I watch it. And all right. Again, is that better than just airing the show on YouTube? Legitimately asking. Like, I don't know. Like, is it better than just putting the show on YouTube?
It would depend on the deal, because YouTube works on a click, basically on a watch program. One of the smarter things that TNA had at the time was having the memberships. And when they had the memberships, they at least guaranteed some income. Whereas when they were posting videos, you were trying to get it per click, watch clicks. And that's nothing too, unless you make a big deal like other companies have, like WWE has. If you can make a big deal and you're a huge streamer, you're a huge platform, then your YouTube views are going to equal some money. But I don't think TNA has that in their pocket. They're doing the summer deal where they're now showing their shows on Thursday live on YouTube again for free, but they're not doing the membership deal like they used to, where $5, $15, you can get a little bit more out of it. We'll see. Again, that article yesterday had a lot to say, and I'm looking forward to Sean's conversation with Carlos today about TNA and where they're at. Where are we at, Jeremy?
I don't know. We got just a few minutes before we're scheduled to be joined by Blake Christian. We won't need to get into anything too deep here in these minutes. Oh, no.
Right. Surprising. Happily.
All right. Are we doing this?
Well, it's up to him.
Okay.
He's got to give us a thumbs up when he's ready.
All right. Am I doing the intro?
I would love for Jeremy. I'd love for you to do the intro this time, because this is your white whale, baby.
Okay. All right, folks. You've seen him on ROH television, where he's undefeated. I don't care what the actual record said. Undefeated on ROH television. You've seen him on AEW television, where he should be undefeated. Bunch of garbage losses to wrestlers who are not as good as him. He is the one, the only. He is.
I'm Vanilla, baby.
Blake Christian. Blake, how you doing?
How are you guys?
We're doing well. The chat is popping like crazy for you. I don't know how much you are familiar with our show. Hopefully not at all. But we're huge fans of you. Huge fans of the Vanilla Baby. You saw the drop that we had for you. We play it every time. We have super chats who... look at this. Look at all these chats we got going on. So my question for you. when are we getting the song? I've bugged Tony Khan about this personally. I don't know if you've bugged him, but when are we getting the song?
I have no idea. But when I think it was Final Battles when the Vanilla Baby thing like first popped up, because I think that's when I asked to like change it. I was sitting on the stairs and I was waiting around, and Tony was in the ring and he was talking to somebody. And as he's leaving, he sees me and he says, "Blake, I'm going to try to get the song. I loved it. I love the idea." So I don't know where we are on it, but I do know that I think it's on his radar to like get it. So,
all right, this is good news.
I don't know about that. I'm scared about that statement because we've got Billy Starks on this show, and Billy, every time we ask about aliens exist, it's always like, yeah, we want to do aliens exist, but I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, no, I don't know when, but it is on his radar.
I know it's on his radar because I bug him about it every single week on social media. I'm sure he's blocked me at this point, or at least put me on mute. But we need the song. That's the one thing to complete the whole package. You don't know how much I'm just sitting there watching Dynamite or Collision or ROH, and I just want to hear the song play. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the week. This is gonna be the week. And then it doesn't happen. I'm just disappointed.
I think it'll happen eventually. I think it just needs to be the right moment. We'll see. I'll stay on him about it and see what I can do.
All right, there we go. That's all we have, Blake. We just want to get an update on the song.
Right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do you know what we're doing for Supercard of Honor this week? It looked like you were gonna go after Bandito and the ROH title, and then Takeshita just jumps the line here, and I was very offended by this. That you're not in the ROH title match.
I have no idea, but I think a thing is patience, Me personally, I would love to win the ROH championship whenever, but it would be so much sweeter like on the East Coast. So maybe Philadelphia, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to go for it eventually. But I think East Coast would be so sweet because I think the East Coast hates me the most.
You've been talking about patience. You're someone who has been toiling on the indies. You still work in the indies, but also you've been working Ring of Honor. Now you're making your way into AEW. What has that feeling been, that persistence, that patience? How did you keep it for so long? And how's the payoff feel right now?
I think the patience comes with a little bit of, I was telling a class this the other day, like I did like a little training thing in Memphis when I was visiting family. It's like, it's patient, but it's also impatient, like I don't want to sit in the same spot that I am. And that's what's always like accelerated me to be better. Like when I started training, I didn't want to be in the same place, if you know what I'm saying. And I was like, these guys do it as a hobby. I want to do it as a job. So while I say patient, but I'm also like impatient. But as far as that, like, I don't know, man, I just kept working again and kept that mindset of, I don't want to just be here forever. I want to be better than what I am tomorrow, like yesterday. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like a patient, impatient attitude.
When you made the edit for this video, besides the fact that it's a great song, like why did you pick the song? And then for the longest time, the lore was like this Blake Christian edit exists. Who created this? Like it became a thing. I retweeted it. I watch it every time I see it. And then finally you were like, all right, yeah, I made this. So what was the decision to put this together, use the song, and then to finally like lean into it?
Where I come from, it was always like, oh, make like highlight videos so people can see your stuff. So like I've always done this. I've always made highlight videos. And I thought like the year that I made that about, I thought I was like, oh, this has been like a specifically good year. And I don't know, I've always had like these like Jack Harlow comparisons because when my hair grows out, it kind of gets a little crazy like his. And there was this one comment when I decided to make this. There was a guy that said Blake Christian is the white Jack Harlow. And it was a little head scratcher, but I was like, I'm going to use his new song, Lovin' on Me. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think it fit the song, like the video perfectly and my attitude perfectly. So yeah, I don't know. It just connected in.
When you're doing video editing, what are you using? Are you like an iMovie guy, Adobe Premiere?
iMovie.
Let's go.
iMovie.
Keep it basic, keep it simple.
That's all you need. iMovie. Look at it.
Oh, that's my perfect. Hold on. So you've been at this for so long. I like to toil through people's socials and find a little something. You're very wrestling oriented on your social, but I did find this hat. Tell me about this hat combination, this jaunty hat and jacket.
Oh my god, dude. This is an old promotion for Burt Prentice. I was indeed. I think I was. I don't even know. Is that the tag belts? Yeah, I was the tag belt. I think I was just managing like one of the guys I was with. And I guess the wrestler that came out had that hat, so I stole that hat from him. Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't my hat. I didn't walk out with that hat. I think I stole that hat from the guy that was wrestling.
Would you wear that hat nowadays?
I don't think so. I don't think it fits me.
Ricochet, how much does this guy suck?
So much. You know, I really thought that maybe we had something, but I don't know. You know, it's his own loss. You know, he could have been popular like me with the Vanilla Baby song, but you know, it is what it is.
He's got dudes jumping you backstage. Can't just face you like a man. I'm getting annoyed.
Yeah, mano y mano, lucha libre style, dream match. You know, I was just poking fun at that. You know, because I was like, oh, this is like a perfect little tweet because that guy like comments on everything, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then it just kind of took off, and I think people were kind of taking it seriously, and I was like, come on, guys. There's no such thing as a lucha libre style one-on-one mano y mano high flyers lucha dream match. You know.
You're gonna get this over though, Blake. You get everything over, so you can't. If you just do stuff like that, it's gonna get over.
It's gonna be a storied match now. It's gonna be a pay-per-view name and.
How does it feel to be the only wrestler who's ever appeared in TNA and had Laredo Kid beat them?
Sorry, it cut out right as soon as you finished that question.
So when you did Impact Wrestling appearances, you would face Laredo Kid. In your singles matches against Laredo, he beat you. That doesn't happen. Laredo usually loses. How did you manage to be the guy who loses to Laredo Kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was an off night, maybe. That was so. I have long hair back then too, huh? Yeah, I think so. I think I had long hair. I think that was like fresh out of WWE. Yeah, I don't know. It was an off day, and the hair weighs me down too, so that's why I cut it.
The more important question that I had was actually from your TNA days, your Impact days, was actually working Ultimate X, because that is a match that not many people get to say they did. Talk to me about getting the offer to do Ultimate X and the match itself, because you've done a lot of different matches. This one's a different beast.
So I had no idea when I took that booking. That was I think that was WrestleMania weekend, right? I think I had like I did like Ring of Honor, New Japan, and then Impact, and then GCW like right after. Yeah, I had no idea that was the match until it was like posted. And I was very excited because a lot of guys that I like watched and like grew up on were making that match like famous. So I was very excited for it. The only thing that I just didn't like about it was the ceiling was so low that, you know, you couldn't do anything from the top. So that was like that's what I wanted. But as they were setting it up, I was like, I don't think we can get up there, you know? So that's why I kind of settled for what I did off the scaffolding. But yeah, that was my only like letdown of it. But it's a legendary match, and not like you said, a lot of people don't get to say they did it. So I'm happy that I was able to like put that on my resume.
And for those who don't know, by the way, there was at the Fairmount Hotel, actually in Dallas, where you guys are for All in Texas. So I figured we could talk a little bit about that because there's some history there. But yeah, I just want to point it out. I forgot about the ceiling being that low. That's ridiculous.
It was very, very low. It wasn't set up to like, I think that was the first match too, huh?
Oh, always, because they got to put up the truss and put up the things and then take them right down. Yeah,
I think they didn't get it set up till like right before, so we didn't, you know, there was nothing we could do.
New Japan, Best of Super Juniors. What's that tournament like, and any thoughts about possibly going back competing in there?
Again, like same thing with the Ultimate X match. Like this is a tournament that a lot of people have that I like watched have went through. For me as well, I think it's been a long time coming. I think if we go back, I can't remember the exact year, but I wrestled Desperado and Hiromu in Charlotte, North Carolina for New Japan Strong, and it was like my first main event I've ever had with them. And after the match, Desperado, he's like, this year, come to Best of Super Junior. So I thought that was the year. And then that kind of fell off. And then I wrestled Hiromu, and that was a great match. And then I thought that was the year. And then that one kind of fell off. So to finally get it and to go through it the way I did and to wrestle the guys that I got to wrestle, yeah, it meant a lot to me because that's always been like a dream of mine. And as far as going back, I'd go back anytime that they call me. Anytime they say, hey, come down here, even if it's not Best of Super Juniors, I'm going.
You beat Santa Claus.
I did.
What was it like wrestling Santa Claus? And also, you're one of the few who have ever done so.
Yes, I ruined Christmas, so that's a big thing on my resume as well that I like to hold. No, I don't know. It's a different opponent. I think where I come from though, like Santa Claus always wins, so it was nice to finally be the guy to put Santa Claus down.
See, I'm a Jew, so for me, that was a huge victory for my fandom of Blake Christian.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you forever on the naughty list because of this?
I think so. I hope so. I still had a good Christmas that year, but yeah, I don't know. I would like to think so.
There's a rumor that you were supposed to be a superhero in NXT. I don't know if you've heard about this, but
Well, I've heard.
Oh, okay.
I've heard.
What was this about?
So this the character that I believe we were like setting it up for a little while. I think I'd just wrestled Dante Chin, and like then there was a backstage, and I was like, superhero, huh? And then they approached me when I first went, and they were like, yeah, we want this type of character, and I was like, oh, okay, like I'm open minded for anything, and then it didn't happen. And then I think when 2.0 came around, they were like, oh, we're going to do it now because like this is a perfect character for this show. And yeah, man, I came up with a suit design and a name. And yeah, it just didn't happen. Well, it did happen, but it didn't happen with me.
Oh, so
God, were you Axiom?
I was supposed to be, yes. I was supposed to be.
Oh. Just took Axiom. I was thinking, I wasn't even thinking Axiom. I was thinking, who was Sidney Akeem? What was his Scripps? I was like, were you going to be Scripps?
Scripps, yeah. No. Because Scripps came after, yeah. So yeah, I came up with all this stuff, but it is. I think the person they gave it to is great, and I think he's done a great job with it. Maybe even better than I could have done with it. So yeah, I'm happy to see it still like alive, and doing as well as it's doing.
I mean, I think that's the best way to look at it personally, but yeah, that's fantastic. Karaoke is going to be a part of All In Texas weekend. Are you a karaoke guy?
I can be. I do put on my own concerts when I'm driving, especially this past weekend when I drove home. It depends on what I'm feeling. I was driving home to Tennessee, so maybe I throw in like country music. If I'm going to the gym, I got like a rock playlist, but sometimes I have like just a randomized playlist. As far as like my daily playlist, it's random, dude. It's like there'll be like a funny song that I downloaded just because it was funny, and then I'll run through that singing that, or then it's like a serious like rock song or a rap song or an R&B song or Jack Harlow, or another one is Tate McRae or Kid Leroy. It is the most random playlist of like 2,000 songs you'll ever hear in your life.
Joel, do you want to ask the French vanilla question? I'm going to pave way to you here.
I had someone ask me, so I'm going to ask you, since you are Vanilla Baby, if you go to France, does that make you French vanilla?
I certainly would toy with it, you know. I think so, but I don't know. I think the whole purpose of Vanilla Baby is that vanilla itself is like the greatest flavor. You know, if you're gonna call me vanilla, then it's the best flavor. So I don't know. I don't know if I could. I think I would play with it. You know, maybe get like a gear design of French vanilla. I think I might write that down, to be honest with you. Just
By all
do it
means,
anyways.
just a little bit of maybe a little bit of tan gear going. Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
When you faced Kenny Omega, why wasn't the international title on the line? Like, he just won it. They keep touting your ROH record, and then Kenny cowardly won't put the title on the line.
I think that's what it was. I think he was afraid, you know. I think that's what I was expecting, and that's what kind of threw me off to lose. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would have been like super fired up if the belt would have been on the line, and I would have, you know, that ultimately would have caused me to win. But you know, I think that's why.
I like this. That's the reason why we got to get some wins on Dynamite and Collision here. But I like that. You know, just you don't need the wins right now because there's nothing at stake. All right, sure, Mystico, Mike Bailey, Swerve, like yeah, they're big names and everything. But get some stakes in there, and then we'll see
Yeah, yeah, of
real
course.
Blake
Yeah,
Christian.
no, it fires me up. You know, I'm nonchalant. So
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the Universal Studios days for dark tapings and all that? What were those days kind of like? Were they crazy busy? Was there good camaraderie? Like what were those days kind of like?
man, that was so long ago. Long hair again. I remember my first time going. I think I was booked before, and then I think I got busy or something came up to where I couldn't make it. And but then the time that I actually did make, the first time I ever made, yeah, I get ready to go, and then I got this entrance, and it's just I don't even think they like knew I was coming. You know, it was like, and I didn't have like the entrance music or whatever. I had like the dark entrance music because mine wasn't ready. But yeah, man, it was busy days, long days, but I love this so much that I would do it again in a heartbeat. If Tony asked me, I need you to wrestle all 35 matches, I say, okay, let's do it, you know, because this is what I do. This is what I love. And yeah, so if he asked me to wrestle all 35, if he asked me to wrestle one in the first and then 10 in the next, I'd do it. I think there was one time I wrestled 3 in one day. And yeah, you know, I loved it. And I would have wrestled 4 or 5 if I had to.
Now, was that pandemic or was that Super X Cup?
Boy, Super X Cup was a brutal one. That long days, no one's out there, and yeah, I don't know. Again, I still loved it, but it was brutal. It was brutal. I think all those pandemic days of when there was like nobody out there were just so exhausting. But again, it was a big part of my upbringing, so I'd do it again, you know.
Blake, we have one more question. Joel's going to ask it, a game we play here on the channel, but we appreciate you joining us here today.
Of course.
And as a tribute to you, to celebrate you being here, I do have a vanilla ice cream cone that we're going to toast to Blake Christian for being on the show. This is, as people know, people who watch the show regularly, we are big fans. We want you to win all the titles. We believe you deserve all the titles. And so this was very fun for us to have you on this show. We appreciate you joining us on a busy weekend. I know it's a busy weekend being in Texas. Joel,
okay.
ask the final question here.
We play a little game on the channel. It's called Partner Promo Punch in the Face. I'm going to give you 3 names. You're going to pick which one you want to partner with in a tag team match. Promo with in the ring on the microphone. Just do, talky talk. And which one you want to punch in the face. Have a one-on-one contest with. You ready?
Okay.
These are people you know very well in AEW. Speedball Mike Bailey, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega. Partner, promo, punch in the face.
Bro, you gave me all 3 people I want to punch in the face, man. That's so brutal. I guess that's the point of the game, though.
That's the point of the game.
Well, Speedball hits really hard, so I think I'm gonna partner with him to avoid getting hit really hard. Promo, I think Swerve. I think that would be fun, and then punch in the face Kenny Omega because I owe him one again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I owe all those guys a punch in the face, but I think I want to punch Kenny Omega in the face more.
Once the titles are on the line, that's when
Exactly.
That's when
No,
the
I
real
won't.
strikes come out.
I will him again until he puts the belt on the line. If he even wins this weekend, he may not win.
True.
But if he does, I won't wrestle him again, and so I refuse.
I'd love to see the conversation. You want to wrestle Kenny again? Belt on the line? Nope. Nope, not me.
No, I'm not doing it.
I don't know if you saw the one-winged angel thing. Like, if Hangman hasn't kicked out, then no one should kick out. Okada,
People keep
Ibushi, no one
saying that
should.
I should.
Yeah. Someone posted that with the video. I was like, hell
you,
yeah, exactly.
It's the Vanilla Baby aura. That's what it is. I think that's what they call it.
That's
aura.
Right. Blake, thank you again for joining
Of course,
us here
thank
today.
you for having me.
Let everyone know where they can find you at and what you got going on.
Obviously, it's a busy weekend. We got Dynamite tonight. We got Collision tomorrow. We got Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor on Friday. And then, of course, the big one, All In on Saturday. You can follow me on X. I was going to say Twitter, but it's X these days. I don't know what my username is.
Underscore Blake Christian.
There you go. Underscore Blake Christian. Instagram is real_ Blake Christian, I think.
Yeah, you're on your own for that one?
Yeah. So I think that is my social medias.
And we're going to get Jack Harlow, Love It On Me, as the theme song. We're going to bully Tony Khan into this. If he can change Mina Shirakawa's theme mid-show, he can get Jack Harlow for Blake Christian.
I say we just go all out and we just get Jack Harlow to come in and just sing it.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's All In next year when you're winning the AEW title.
Yes, against Kenny Omega because he finally put it on the line.
That's right.
If it hasn't happened by All Out Weekend, that will be my question for Tony in the press.
Good. Finally, real questions from the media to Tony Khan.
I got you. I got you. We need this to happen.
Just keep bugging him about it. Eventually, he will do it.
That's right. Thank you again, Blake.
Thanks, you guys for having me.
Thanks, man. Enjoy your weekend. There we go, folks. Blake Christian. We got him.
We did it.
I got my vanilla ice cream cone as a tribute, as a toast to Blake Christian.
Shout out to Lawrence, completely popped me in the middle of that interview. Oh, thank you, Lawrence. Volib, we got it for you, but the super chat, of course, we need to talk about the original Vanilla Fumble.
I'm Vanilla Baby.
Why hasn't Tony gotten Vanilla Baby yet for you, Blake? We got
the answer.
Whole conversation. Listen, I hope Tony does it. I hope he's ready for the moment. It's going to happen. I hope he doesn't do it just like he did with Billy, where he just said, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And Billy went and got Mark Hoppus to be all like, yeah, you want it? You can have it. Now we got to do it. We got to do it right. We need Jack Harlow. We need that song. Great conversation. Really enjoyed it.
Show's over. Show's canceled. That's it.
This was our 401st episode. So really, we're done now.
We lasted 401. We're done.
Yeah, 401 and done. That's it. We're going to cash in our 401k, which is zero because no one pays us enough for the show. Yeah. Someone earlier was like, would ITW want a TV deal? Like, the deal we want is syndication. Like, you pay us to do this show, we'll be there. Busted if Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 were like, hey, come and do the graveyard shift, we'd be like, how much you pay? And if the money's enough, guess what? We'd consider it.
I'm awake during those hours. That's fine.
I could be awake during those hours for money. I could do anything for money. But I won't do that. Sorry, I'm not Meatloaf. Looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be crazy busy. But it was good to have Blake on the show. Hopefully we see him. If we don't see him at Supercard, then I really hope that he's part of the Casino Battle Royal. Just something to put him on TV.
He'll be on Supercard. He's got to be on Supercard.
I hope so. I just don't know what the match is, but I guess we'll find out soon enough because that card, the Supercard has almost been set. The only thing that they're really working on is the interim women's television title match. Because
all the title matches are set, but there's going to be non-title matches.
You still got 20 more non-title matches to make.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's just take a quick look because I think they're already at like 7 or 8 matches. They're at 5 matches of officially. So you got Bandito Takeshita. We talked about that. Athena Thunder Rosa. The Sons of Texas, the Tons of Texas, taking on the Infantry. Lee Moriarty and Blue Panther. Nick Wayne and Teton. I assume, aren't they doing double duty with Dustin? Isn't he doing the thing?
I haven't been announced yet.
Okay, so I assume that the other Sons of Texas, the 6-mans, are going to be part of this. Do Gates of Agony versus Lee and Blake. They'll probably do that on Thursday, to be honest with you.
I don't do that because...
listen, they might get squashed, but they might not.
No, they're going to keep having them lose. I'm tired of that shit.
But what if they don't lose? What if they win?
Yeah.
It could happen.
Do him against Ricochet. In a mano-a-mano. Lucha Showdown.
I mean, I'm all about it because they're not giving you Mystico versus MJF one-on-one, so you may as well give us the other Lucha match.
Yeah.
You won't get Realistico and Roosh on the show, so instead you just get the other two. Being Blake Christian and Ricochet. Ricochet-Chico. Ricochet-Cero. Roosh Christian Roosh. I'm trying.
Stop it.
I can't. Yeah, TK said more ROH to come. That's the problem. He said there's more to come. That show's going to end.
Yeah.
Going to start when? At 8 o'clock, and it's going to end like by midnight? Probably by midnight.
Yeah, but there's no
post-show
press conference, thankfully.
But still, there are people who are on this on the show who are going to be part of All In the next morning. So, next afternoon, but morning for call. So, like, you don't want to start or end it too late because, like, Takeshita is going to be around for, I assume, the Casino Gauntlet match, maybe even Bandito as well. And then you've got Athena and Thunder Rosa are also potentially part of the women's Casino Gauntlet match. So you don't want to end it too late because then, come on, man, they're going to be so tired. Let them get their sleep.
I don't need to sleep.
Sleep for the week?
No, it's fine.
Come on, Pro Wrestling Nation. Give us our graveyard shift. We would be the perfect graveyard shift. Just us talking about what? Nothing. We're gonna get the weirdest wrestlers on our show. But remember Bruce Thunderstein? Remember we talked about Bruce?
Yeah.
I met someone this weekend who is friends with Bruce Thunderstein.
Oh.
I was shocked because we're just chatting. I was at this. So shout out to Nav, who works at CBC in Toronto. Nav was doing this media meetup, and he very graciously invited me to it this past weekend. A bunch of people who are doing local media who have set up different jobs that they do within the media sphere. They did a really cool meetup and met some awesome people. So one of whom was a woman who works within the modeling world. And when she heard that I work doing like wrestling coverage and stuff, she was like, "Oh, I have a friend who does that. His name is da-da-da." And I was like, "What does he do?" He's like, "Oh, he does this like shake weight Billy something gimmick." Like, "Is that Bruce Thunderstein?" And she's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I'm like, "I saw him and I loved him." And she's like, "Oh, that's so good to hear." Da-da-da. I was like, "Yeah, at one point we talked about having him on our show and da-da-da." So yeah, but anyway, shout out to Nav. That was a really great event, but it was really funny meeting someone who knows this random wrestler that captured our hearts. We'll get Bruce one day on the show when he's the Ring of Honor World Champion.
I messaged him, and then we were exchanging, but I don't think he uses Instagram that much. I don't think he uses social that much. So
smart.
Yeah.
Man, the man really is the perfect wrestler then.
Yeah.
He doesn't get bothered by anything. His gimmick is shake weights, for Christ's sake. I wouldn't be bothered by anything if I were him either. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we'll see where Blake, slots in. He's there. He was in his hotel room. I assume that we'll be seeing him, if not tonight or tomorrow night on Collision, then somewhere in the Casino Gauntlet or part of Ring of Honor's Supercard show. But it's gonna be a crazy weekend. I don't know who's doing the SmackDown post show on Friday, because Kate and SP3 are doing Supercard post show.
Nah.
I at this point, I feel like we just kind of threw shit in the air. I don't know if I'm doing the Saturday night's main event with anyone. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to be real busy after Saturday night's main event when Goldberg wins that World Heavyweight Championship to take away the headlines from All in Texas. I think that might happen. They've played it down.
Nah, that's SP3 and I were talking about that yesterday of Roman returning at Saturday night's main event to take away the headlines.
You could do that for sure. Yeah. But also the Goldberg stuff. So one thing that they've done is kind of downplay that this is it. They sent out the press release that this is his last match. But other than him kind of alluding to it and winning the title and being like, oh, wouldn't that be something? They haven't really talked about this is his last match. So I'm a little like, I'm wondering.
They did the interview with Michael Cole.
That was the last time they even said anything about it being his last match, like on the TV show. And his thing was, wouldn't that be interesting if I won the title?
They did the interview, and then the following week they did the video package, and then this week was he came out in the muscle car. So I'm sure they'll do, like, they should have a video package on SmackDown, like kind of tying everything together with Goldberg. And it being his last match.
We'll see. There's part of me that really does think that WWE would put the title on Goldberg for two reasons. One, to continue the Goldberg's last ride garbage, whatever. But also to take away from the headlines of AEW All in Texas being, a good show, a great show, whatever people think about it at the end of it.
But that's not taking away the headlines in a good way.
I know. Don't think that I'm not thinking about that. But like the nostalgia friends are going to be all like, "Oh, that's great, Goldberg, big nostalgia." Like Variety and People will be all over it. TMZ too. It'll be no longer talking about, Kenny Okada or Swerve and Hangman and the Avengers and all this other stuff. Tony and Mercedes, like it'll be off of that. It'll be Goldberg, and we'll be like, yeah, Goldberg. Now what? SummerSlam. Goldberg and Gunther 2.
It's not taking away in a good way. Like that's a backfire move. At least Roman is okay. Roman's back. Cool. Everyone likes Roman. Most people. They like when he returns because he does it so often. And then that's at least a positive takeaway with headlines. If you put the title on Goldberg, I think it'll be hilarious. I'd laugh. But the majority of the fans are going to be like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, you're pushing people to AEW by doing something like that.
I think that the fans who consume our content, not specifically us in the weeds, but like who consume pro wrestling content, like analysis outside of the ring, I think they'll be upset, and I understand it. But again, I go back to the guy at WrestleCon carting a wagon of replica belts that he spent so much money on, and he wants the legends to sign the belts so bad. That guy's going to be excited as hell for Goldberg winning the title. Those people who are largely offline but still buying tickets for exorbitant amounts of money, they might be really excited about this. Oh my God, Goldberg's the champ again. My nostalgia bones are tickling. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I don't think it's a very good thing. I mean, I think it's a good thing because I think it's funny. And I've talked to people who are like, this would be funny. I'm curious about it. Goldberg winning would be very funny to me. And I'd get to sit on that Saturday night's main event post show and like half gloat and half talk about it.
I don't think it would be a good thing for the majority of fans. I do think that you would push people to AEW. Sure, the nostalgia people might be like, yeah, Goldberg, but those people are going to be there anyway, so fine. You risk running off the fans you have captivated and captured over the past few years when, in case you're living under a rock, in case you're living under a rock, WWE is on fire. Those are the fans you risk running off. by doing something like this.
Dude with the wagon, belts, money. Not sure.
Those guys are going to be there.
They are going to be there. They don't have to worry about hemorrhaging fans. Me and my friend Mark, remember? That's what it's all about.
They should worry about that.
They should. But then they also continue to make money hand over fist, and they don't care as much because it's the money that comes in that they care about. Now I just get to laugh about it. Oh, Goldberg wins, and we get Cena versus Goldberg. Cody's left out in the dark. Cody, who's out here vague tweeting again. Maybe that's what it's all about.
Flinch.
Don't flinch. Diamond hands. He's listening. He's listening to Steven Jensen again, like it's WrestleMania 40. Telling you, man. Loved it. What was that? What was it? Don't flinch. Thank you all for riding with me this time. Love you for it. Excited for what we do next. I laughed. Someone posted it on Reddit. And like the first comment was like, it's Cody Rhodes. He either has 6 days to live or he's launching a new C4 energy drink. There's no in between. I was like, that is perfect. Oh, God. If Goldberg wins, Joel does the post show in a gold wig. I do not have access to one of those. I think I'll just be who I'll put the lights gold. The lights will be gold for the show.
All right, there you go.
Hilarious. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens for that particular show. What else do we have to talk about? I guess a little NXT from last night. It is the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I needed something, and I wasn't going to just do Blake Christian, though. Who knows? Maybe it'll be. I know. I got to get people to click it. You know, the baitiness of it all.
It's the biggest draw in the world.
Who? Blake Christian.
Blake Christian.
He is pretty big. He is a draw. That's true. Cody announced the new American Wheatley flavor. I have to dye my gray beard gold. Screw you. I'll do it. Anyway, this was actually more the funny Jordynne Grace, Blake Monroe spa thing. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a good segment. Played very much into the Blake Monroe character and the can they coexist mentality of this whole tag match at Great American Bash. But it also kind of draws in whether or not Blake Monroe is long to be a babyface. Fightful Select did report. Spoiler alerts. Cover your ears if you haven't already seen it. 3, 2, 1. There's talk of turning Blake Monroe heel immediately, and then seeing where that goes. But there's been talk of it. Nothing's official. You can unplug your ears now if you want. Now, what if the tag match is Jordan and Blake win, and then at Evolution, Blake Monroe costs Jordynne Grace the title match, and then we get Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe down the line after Blake beats JC Jane.
Why is Blake facing JC Jane? They're both heels.
They're both heels, but one's going to be worse than the other. Maybe they're going to turn JC Jane along the way.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can't get to is I'm still on it's Masha and JC at Slammiversary. I don't really see much of a reason to go back to Jordan and Masha. Maybe for like the TNA hardcores or just the TNA fans who want to see Jordan back in TNA. I feel like it's backwards if you do that. I'd rather do JC, who, by the way, had a fantastic match on TNA not too long ago, a singles match. So like I want JC to be able to show out on TNA once again. So I don't even know if the Blake Monroe heel turn is going to happen. It's just been discussed. So who knows? I'm curious. This was a good segment for Grace and Monroe, but I feel like we might see Blake turn on Jordynne Grace, maybe do a one-on-one feud, and then move on from there. Yeah, Fatal Influence can turn on JC Jane and join up with Blake Monroe. That's not a bad way to do it. Fallon Henley, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Jasmine Nix, happy to be here.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to get a Blake Monroe turn anytime soon. Because now I think they feel like they got something with Blake and Jordan, and they're going to stretch that out for a little while. And then, sure, maybe the turn comes. But I think they're going to do these little vignettes for a little while longer because they were such a hit last night.
They were very funny. I did enjoy it. That was cute. I thought the aesthetics were nice. I just, I like, by the way, someone's saying it's time for JC to drop the title. She just got it. She just got it like 3 weeks ago. You got to have her at least defend it once. And that's Evolution. And then after that, Slammiversary where she might actually win. I'd like to see JC go on that run and prove that she's a better wrestler than people give her credit for. Again, there was the match she had in TNA that was really good and very different from her WWE style stuff. It'll be good. Someone asking about the Shayna Baszler NXT producer stuff. So there is a TikTok of Shayna Baszler outside an ice cream cart outside of the PC with people being like, why would she be here if she wasn't working? I think that's curious. Body Slam had reported that she was a producer on last night's NXT for one of the matches. We're working to confirm it, but
no, we're not working to confirm it. We've confirmed it.
Oh, we have confirmed it. Yeah. Good. I didn't see. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. There you go. She's working stuff for NXT. Good for her.
It looks like she's doing shadowing because she was listed alongside another producer, and that's typically what they do when the producers first start, is they work with somebody else. Jason Jordan was shadowing for a while before now he's on his own and everyone praises him. Bobby Roode, same thing. It looks like that's what Shayna's doing, is right now she's just kind of in the shadowing run.
Can't believe she used her creative control to get a spot on the producers list. No, not gonna go. What was this SP3 saying? Of course, Joel says a solid yet forgettable JC Jane match on Impact is fantastic, while Hangman Ospreay is good and fine. Yeah, man, stop doing flippy shit. Give me the fundamentals. That's what I want. I don't need no Hangman Ospreay being there. They were fine. They did all the moves. I'm happy you're happy about that. JC Jane showed me fire and passion. She's the one. She's gonna win that title at Slammiversary, and WWE wins again.
Okay.
Anyway, we got a half hour left. What are we gonna talk about? Is there other NXT stuff to talk about?
Ricky Saints and Ethan Page will have a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Good for them. They'll do that spot where they throw each other into the vomitorium at center stage, because that's what center stage is good for. That one little spot, you know what I'm talking about? Because it goes downward, it slopes downward at center stage. So they'll do that and people will be like, holy shit. And the match will be fun. There you go. Everyone will get involved.
Vanity Project buried.
Yeah, well, I'd do it too. You got the Evolve champion. He sucks. He can't catch a win. Didn't he also get pinned on Evolve after winning the title the next week in a 6-man by Lince Dorado? God bless. See, I watch the shows. I watch the shows. Maybe I do. Who knows? But it does feel like the loser of this match is just gonna be moving up, and I assume joining the Seth Riders. Could you imagine Ricky Saints joining the Seth Riders? It's time. Why not? You want all ego Ethan Page? You want him to be the guy? Volop saying I watch NXT for the TNA appearances. I did not want to watch them for. I watched it for Mike Santana, but not for the other guy. They're gotta watch that contract signing during the show. Can't believe this is part of the NXT show on Sunday. A contract signing for the TNA main event. Sucks. What else was there from NXT? Was there anything else that was really good? No, there really wasn't. Oh man, the DiBiase Jr. is the Vanity Project. The Varsity Project. That's what they should be. It's Saturday, Sunday, whatever. The weekend. The shows are all gonna magically appear on your chat windows, and you'll see them. Yeah, TV segment on a PLE sent out to die. That's what this entire Great American Bash card is basically an episode of NXT. That's all it is. It's the most NXT episode of NXT there's ever been. You got Yoshiki Nomura versus Obafemi for the NXT title, and that's a TV match.
Yeah.
Go ahead, jump in anywhere you please to talk about this.
It's NXT. What What am I talking about?
I don't know. What else are we going to talk about at this point?
I thought we were going to talk about Tony Khan's media call.
I guess we should talk about Tony Khan's media call.
Yeah.
1,200 words to explain why you're wrong is what I also call it. Not you specifically, Jeremy.
I know.
The people who believed in the Mercedes Moné creative control garbage talk. I'm glad we finally got that out of the way. I'm sure no one's going to move the goalposts on that about he's lying. Everyone lies. Wrestling. I mean, I say it all the time, but on the record from the owner, I think he handled that pretty well. I thought the media call was fine. I got a chance to listen to it, and
it was so long.
It was an hour and 15 minutes. He went 15 minutes over his allotted time because he wanted to get good questions in. He wanted ROH questions at the end, which was hilarious. Remind me, I gotta talk about Supercard. Remember, I gotta talk about Supercard. John, don't let me forget about Supercard. Yeah, you got it, Tony. We'll talk about your Supercard.
It was so long.
What do you think of this media call other than long? You got his answers, the things that people wanted to know about. Someone asked about Britt Baker. I think that was that Rick?
Yeah, that was Ichino.
Rick Ucchino asked about Britt Baker, and Tony said, "No, we haven't talked about that. But I love Britt Baker. Yes, she's on the bench, but we're cycling people in and out." Is effectively the answer. Was there a better answer than that? I think that was the best way he could have answered it.
No, that was a good answer. Honestly, it was pretty transparent if you think about it. Like,
yeah,
the same way the Scorpio Sky answer was transparent is, we haven't talked about her wanting out or anything. It was, we're a team. Sometimes not everybody on the team gets used, and right now she's not being used. Like, he effectively said that she is being benched, and at some point she might get a call to come off the bench. So I'm sure that won't clear anything up for people.
I think he handled this media call better. I think he's gotten better. We've talked about the post-show media scrums being shorter. They're no longer, 2.5 hours, including 90 minutes of Tony. It's entertainment, and then Tony comes in and does, 45 minutes instead. I'd rather that. And I think that these media calls with the right set of people asking the right set of questions, he handles it a lot, or has been handling them a lot better. Give him, full marks for that. And I think that the people who have been working PR have been very good at not only coaching, but also explaining why it's important that Tony sticks to his answers and gets it right the first time. No more wearing Tony's hat and sunglasses while being asked certain questions. Tony Storm, because there are multiple Tonys in this conference. That's why you change the names of the wrestlers. Because then you got to start using last names. No one wants that.
Well, we don't know what he was wearing during this media call, so
that is true, which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Although, was it not on camera? Was it? I know it was a WebEx thing, but
I don't know if it's on camera or not. No idea.
Sitting in his boardroom with his feet up.
Yeah.
Jonathan, remind me to talk about Ring of Honor.
We did get clarity on the women's peer tournament. It's because Red Velvet is injured, and so they needed to do an interim ROH TV title, which I guess they'll announce tomorrow.
She's the TV champion. Why does the TV champion need to be in the Pure Championship tournament?
Well, it's not that. It's that the people who are going to be in the Pure tournament are now going to be facing for the interim TV title, so they can't do both.
But you could have just left one off, and again, there's no reason to have a women's Pure title. They should have just said we scrapped it. Or scrap the TV title, whatever it is. One of those women's titles needs to go.
It was also where he's like, Red Velvet will be out for a couple of weeks. She's already been out since like April, maybe May. And she'll be out a couple of weeks, a few months tops. Like, what? A couple of weeks or a few months? Which one is it?
It's both. Then you will like it. Let's take a look. When was the last time Red Velvet had a match? I'm just checking this here. This was June 20th.
June, so not even that long. I thought it was May.
She was part of Fantastica Mania.
Okay, all right.
In Mexico.
All right. So if she's only going to be out a couple more weeks, like, why do you need to do an interim title? That's what I was like, huh? What are we doing here? But
she also worked Global Wars. Yeah. Mexico.
All right. I just don't know why you need to do. I don't know why you need to do an interim title if she's only going to be out a couple more weeks. Just hold off. Just do your peer tournament. You announced the peer tournament in April.
That's what it was. Yes.
Red Velvet's injury wasn't until June.
Just admit you didn't know. Just admit you didn't need it.
Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, I think Sean Lindsay has it. Deonna Purrazzo needs to steal the pure title from the truck and just proclaim herself the champion. Again, just let her, just be like, this is mine now. And she just walks away with it.
Yeah, I'm for that. I like that idea.
Be perfect. What they should do. I don't know. It was such a weird moment. Anyway, and then they're going to do an interim women's television championship match. And you know who's going to be in it? It's going to be Billy Starks. And who knows? And like Lady Frost. And it's going to be Billy Starks beats Lady Frost and wins the interim title so that Red Velvet can come back when she's ready and beat Billy Starks again for the TV title. And when that happens, and you all say Joel hates AEW, you can say Joel also understands the booking process of AEW, where things don't change, they just exist. Give Deonna the pure championship and just move the hell on.
Oh, we got to do a tournament.
Here's your tournament. Deonna wins.
Do a tournament.
You just have Tony come out with a giant briefcase, open the briefcase, call out Deonna, give her the title that's in the briefcase. It's just like it's Raw in 2004. That was an Eric Bischoff Triple H moment for those who were paying attention.
Yeah, I remember that. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, give her the big gold pure belt. Looking forward to the interim pure women's title tournament. Whoever wins gets to face nobody for it. I found that very strange that he needed to get that in there. But there were some good questions in the
clarity.
Yeah, it was clarity for something that nobody had questioned in the first place, other than the pure title.
We did question it. We spent like 20 minutes booking the pure champion.
But he spent more time talking about how Red Velvet's injury while she's television champion impacted the pure tournament. And it's like, well, are you trying to tell us that she goes deep in this tournament that you haven't started yet? Like, what is the point of this?
No, he told us that it's because now people who were going to be battling for the peer title are now going to be battling for the interim women's TV title.
There have been no matches in the pure tournament to get us here. We've just established this. This was convenience, is what this was. This is an injury of convenience, Jeremy.
They should do the Elevation X.
Thank you.
But now the interim TV title is also in one of the boxes, so you got possible chance to get one of the championships here. You got two chances at a title. Maybe you get the peer title, maybe you get the interim TV title.
All I know is that if a pure women's champion has not been crowned by SummerSlam weekend, WWE has won, because their ID titles are going to be determined. The champions will be crowned by SummerSlam week. That is a thing that is happening. Those matches have been announced. There will be ID champions, whatever that means. They will exist. The belts will be around the waist of one person, one man, one woman, and they will go. I think honestly at this point I'm more the ROH hater of the year than I am the AEW hater of the year. I put over
They're the same company, Joel.
Allegedly. Until he rebrands it AEW ROH, they are different companies owned by one man.
No, they're the same company.
Then tell that to Blake Christian, who can't get a win on one but can only win on the other.
I mean, fair, but they're the same company, allegedly.
Can't believe Blake Christian beat Santa Claus. Thank God.
WWE ID.
It's back, baby. It's back with a vengeance. Do the triple cage. The Ring of Honor Women's Pure title is going to be defended and crowned in a triple cage.
I think all matches should be in the Doomsday cage. I know that's the different triple cage. There's been like multiple kind of triple cages, but I think all the matches should be in a triple cage.
the Doomsday Championship.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. It's not hard.
There's a Ring of Hallucinations idea.
Joel, you can't say thank God to somebody for beating up Santa Claus. Grok will come for your ass. Well, here's the thing. I blocked Grok and muted all references to him indefinitely. And for me, indefinitely means forever, unlike Sami Zayn, which means till Monday. ROH is the biggest ROH hate of the year. That's true. Lab Class gets it. It's true. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because it's true. You can't hate what you don't know or what you don't support. Jeff Jarrett should come out, cash in his TCM title, not the Eternal Classic Movies, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre title. He should cash that in to be a part of the AEW World Title match at All in Texas, because he has a Texas belt, so he should be able to cash in his Texas belt to be a part of the AEW World Title match at All in Texas and win.
Jeff's got to be in this Casino Gauntlet, right?
I'd hope so.
Gotta be.
If I don't hear my world, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'll be at home watching the show, but I'll go home. By which I mean I'll just turn off the show and watch it later.
I look forward to the bit where I was supposed to be next. That's a classic.
I was the man who made this company. We'll be like, whoa, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Senile Jeff Jarrett is the next character development.
Senile.
He's going to go senile and thinks that he made this company. Karen Jarrett wins the interim pure title. Oh, that's it. Someone make a TCM title for RJ City. I did think about that. RJ City already has a Turner Classic Movie title. He commissioned it himself. He wears it around backstage. You just don't get to see it. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a busy week. They are everywhere, AEW is this week. They are all over Texas doing media rounds, doing our show for some reason, doing interviews on other platforms, doing media calls.
They should be doing media. Why?
No, I think it's great. I'm praising this. I think it's great that they're all over the place. I mean, it's hell for someone who actually has to cover and, write the articles that come from these interviews, but it's good that they're out there. It's good that they're getting the word out.
What do you know about that?
No, I'm the one who creates the messes. That creates the messes for you to clean up. Did you know that for a while Matt McCarthy was writing John Laurinaitis' tweets?
Yeah.
Oh man, if only you could have written that article.
Oh, I didn't want to.
No, I don't want you to either.
Didn't want to.
What else do we have to talk about? I know AEW Dynamite's tonight. We will talk about that. Did anything else interesting happen? Is Cody Rhodes okay?
Why is Cody Rhodes not okay?
I don't know, because he's vague tweeting in 2025.
Oh, that's what Cody does.
Well, he's like a child in high school.
Oh, okay.
We already talked about Shayna. Go back 20 minutes. Did you know that Relic is Jeff Jarrett spelled backwards? Awful. I love it. Tell me, man. I was supposed to enter before Commander won the comments. Could you imagine? That's Jeff Jarrett.
He's under the Commander mask.
Yes, he is Commander.
That'd actually be cool.
He is Jeff Commander.
What if Jeff Jarrett's Mystico?
What if Jeff Jarrett is El Grande Americano?
Okay.
That's it. That's what I want to see. That's the return that I need. When Chad Gable comes back from injury, he comes out, Chad Gable does, and all of a sudden
Jeff
behind
Jarrett.
him, that's Jeff Jarrett. He does the stretch. He does that. He calls everybody slap nuts. No, instead, he comes out and he's confronting the other, the fake El Grande Americano. And then behind him, 15 El Grandes Americano come out. Chad Gable has an army of El Grande Americanos to take on this one new Americano. That's it. I got it. El Grande slap nutso.
I like El Grande Americano, the army of El Grande Americanos. Okay.
I think it'd be El Grandes Americano.
Yeah.
That's the one I'd do. Absolutely. Do we talk about the Monet Crunchyroll? They're t-shirts.
Yeah, it's
Mercedes Moné
merchandise.
is doing a merch deal with Crunchyroll. Not really much to talk about there. Good for Mercedes. She's getting money.
Proceeds are going to Step Up, a nonprofit organization. So
wonderful news. Good stuff. Bailey's donating some gear to help the Texas flood victims. Again, I love it when wrestlers will use their platforms to do something good. I love it when they're going to help out where they can. These are little things that go a long way, especially when faced with tragedy. So good for them, for real. Yeah. Grande Americano Civil War. Good God. It's not, you know what comes out? It's not El Grande Americano that comes out. He brings out like it's El Grande Americano, El Grande Canadiano, El Grande Mexicano, El Grande Finicano. Like they're Finnish. He brings out the entire world of El Grandes. We get the multiverse of El Grande countries.
Countries.
It's the El Grande world.
Oh.
Every world has an El Grande something. And they all go out to face this fake El Grande Americano that's standing in the ring. We booked it. Rey Mysterio doesn't even need to come back. Okay, we don't even need to get to that point. We just need... he's going after El Grande Alamando. Not to be confused with El Grande Alejandro as far as our whatever.
We definitely do need the El Grande cinematic universe.
100%.
Yeah.
A bunch of portals open in the arena. You can do it. I swear to God, you can do it. They're perched all in the arenas. Every single entrance, they're just standing there.
It's like an episode of Rick and Morty.
I'm telling you, man. As top weed, if the people ask you to talk about Mercedes Moné merch, you better talk about it, pal.
We did. We mentioned it.
She's making money, and some money's going back to charity. Good for her.
What more are we supposed to talk about? This Mercedes Moné merchandise that I'm not going to purchase.
There's 2 million Mercedes Stan accounts that are going to post every single shred of the details and like, what's the fabric like? What colors are they? Are they different colors? Are they good colors? What colors would they have used? Why didn't they use this photo of Mercedes? I like this one the most. You'll get all of it. I'm not going to show it. It's over on the Crunchyroll website and every other social you can imagine. Literally pull up one Mercedes Stan social. You got every angle of that shirt already. People have it that haven't even produced it yet, but for some reason there are some Mercedes Stans who already have it. They got it. They're wearing it right now. They're doing the CEO dance while they wear it. Just like that. Put on your Crunchyroll shirt, Jeremy.
I don't have it. Some of the jackets and stuff look cool. Here, everybody. There.
See? How dare you? Wait a minute. That's not her wearing that t-shirt.
No, but stuff that looks cool. Again, I'm not buying it, but somebody will.
Why isn't the top weed owning it? Those 500,000 Mercedes Stan accounts aren't going to go after me because I'm not making fun of them. Also, they can't because my profile's locked down to begin with.
You're not the top weed, though, Joel.
It's fine. Let them. Top something. Okay. We have enough bottoms going after us.
Okay.
Oh, AEW Dynamite tonight. Where is it? Texas.
Yeah.
Everything's in Texas. If you think you know where wrestling is, it's probably going to be in Texas. Did we put a thing out? No, I've got to go to the. Do I have to go to the AEW website?
No, it's there. It's just
there.
Like the other page. Yeah.
On the second page. What is wrong? What is wrong with this? I hate it. Live from the Curtis Culwell Center, it's AEW Dynamite from Garland, Texas. Live on TBS MX. Allegedly. For the number 2 spot in the Women's Casino Gauntlet, it's going to be Tekla, Tay Mello, Megan Bayne, and Queen Aminata. Who do you have winning this match?
Tekla.
I think Megan Bayne should just beat everyone and pin them.
I'm for that.
Stack all 3 of those women.
I'm for that, but
all about it.
I think it's going to be Tekla.
Yeah, it might be Tekla. Who's number 1 in that match? Who won the number 1 spot? Kristen did, right?
Yes.
I had to think about it for a second. I got it.
You're going to get in trouble with the AEW people here.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Stop watching the show?
They're gonna crucify you for not knowing who's winning these matches.
Zeno Hour saying can't get my Crunchyroll because it's my sister's account. Well, maybe you should go and get your own account, Zeno Hour. That's what they do, right? Anyway, Mimosa Joe and Wheeler Yuta have a match. That should be fun. I'm sure it's gonna be really weird with everyone else showing up.
Samoa Joe should just grab him by the hair and just yank it out.
People are really upset about Wheeler's haircuts.
I think it rules.
So do I. He's doing Sam the Sheepdog.
I think it's hilarious.
It's the best. Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné have their final face-to-face.
They got to bring it in this segment because the feud has been lacking something. I think it will be good. They've done well in the talking segments so far. So I expect this to be good. But they really got to bring it on this one for that extra oomph going into the pay-per-view.
I expect a little bit of drama. Expect a little bit of back and forth. Maybe someone lays somebody out. Seems to have been the whole, crux of this build. Yeah, all right. We'll see. Again, it's the go home. So people are already sold on this match. Let's face it. Like this in the main event. If you're not already sold on it, I don't know what else you can be told to get you invested. Unless somebody, gets completely obliterated and questionable for the match. You could do that, but again, I think people are pretty well bought in.
You don't need to do that. Sure, but you still want to deliver a strong segment. You don't want to be like, oh, people are sold, so we don't need to do much.
No, I'm not telling you to punt it. I'm just wondering what else you can do to further sell people who are already sold on it. Like they've been doing the hard sell. I'm praising the fact that this has been a hard sold match that has a lot of people excited, myself included, to see it. I don't know what tonight could do to further enhance the build. That's my question.
Tony Storm should bring out Camille, but her name is Mariah May.
They should call her April May June.
No, stop it. They got the trademark on Mariah May, don't they? Or is that Mariah May's actual name? So
I think it's she has it. WWE wanted to own a name.
All right, fine. Tony Storm should bring out Camille. And her name is April May June.
Thank you. It only took you 2 months to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, MJF and Mark Briscoe have a talkie talk. Now, here's the thing. I've been saying talkie talk with Tim for when did Tim and I do a show? It was 5 years ago, said 4 years ago. We've been saying talkie talk on our show originally forever. I can't believe that now it took AEW 5 years to rip us off.
Mark Briscoe's a fan of the show, clearly.
He is. Good for you, Mark Briscoe. Very happy that you enjoyed Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring. And later on, Kate and Joel Call It in the Ring. And later on, In the Weeds.
Mark Briscoe rules.
Should be good. I don't know what else to expect from this. Maybe someone gets kicked in the dick because, this whole story has been based around a kosher pickle. Maybe someone eats a kosher pickle.
It feels like Hurt Syndicate's going to beat up Mark Briscoe, right? And then Mystico makes the save.
I mean, he is number 2 in this thing. I don't know. No, he's number 3.
I mean, he's the third entrant, but that doesn't mean he's number 3. Only 1 and 2 have been decided.
So he's number 3, officially part of the show. I don't know. Mystico getting involved.
I just explained it to you.
I know. I don't know what you do in this segment to make it make sense. I'm sure it's going to be MJF, Mark Briscoe, Mystico's going to get involved. Jet Speed's going to get involved. Nick Wayne and Christian Cage are going to get involved. Who else can get involved in this thing?
Why are they getting involved?
Because the tag titles are involved if you have the Hurt Syndicate out there too.
Okay, all right.
So this whole thing with Mark Briscoe has turned into Mark Briscoe and MJF, but also the Hurt Syndicate and their tag team match that's coming up. So it's been all kind of played together for better or worse. Some people have enjoyed it, some people haven't. So I just have a feeling they're going to encompass everything into this segment. MJF and Christian Cage are a thing together. That should be it. They're gonna make an all-star tag out of this thing. It's gonna be MJF and the Hurt Syndicate and Nick Wayne and Cage versus Mark Briscoe and Jet Speed and who knows who else.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of hinting at, is that maybe you get some type of tag team match out of this for Collision.
MJF, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and Nick Wayne. Christian Cage won't work, brother. versus Mark Briscoe, Jet Speed,
Christian
and
Cage not
Mystico.
working would rule.
Oh, Christian Cage will either join it. It'll either be Christian or Bobby Lashley, who doesn't work. It's going to be one of those two.
Oh, it's definitely Christian.
Yeah, Christian's going to put Nick Wayne in there. So it'll be Nick Cage, MJF.
Nick Cage.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Nick Cage. Nick Wayne is Nick Cage. Let's face it.
Yeah, but Nick Cage is like a real person.
Yeah, and he is Christian Cage's son.
Oh, all right.
Just, that's it. So yeah, it'll be the Hurt Syndicate, Nick Cage and MJF versus Mark Briscoe, Mystico, and Jet Speed. There's your all-star 8-man tag. See you on Collision, ladies and gentlemen. The main event, by the way, is another all-star 8-man tag featuring Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and the Young Bucks against Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata. That'll be a fantastic. I assume that's the ending match. I assume that's the main event. You got the AEW World Champion.
Probably.
You got the challengers. You've got everyone in there. Wasn't Hangman originally in this match? In place of, I thought that Hangman was originally part of this.
Yeah, is he not?
He's not listed on this rundown.
Oh,
I got Ospreay, Strickland, Hobbs, and Shibata.
And that's my fault.
Oh, okay. Well then, I'm glad this time I can blame you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna triple check just in case AEW
No, it's Hangman. He's in the graphic.
He's in the
That's
graphic. Okay,
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
on
We just
me.
made a mistake.
That's
That
just
happens.
fucked up.
I was like Shibata.
No, Shibata's
Shibata's in there.
It's Swerve.
Oh, Swerve is not in this
in.
match.
Yeah.
Because he was suspended.
No, he's back. He
He's
wrestled
just not
last
there.
week.
I know he's just not there.
It's that they don't want to team Hangman and Swerve.
I get it. Well, that's all that's on Dynamite tonight. Those 5 things. Looks good. I'm sure there'll be other stuff announced at like 2 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, there you go. We're going home for Dynamite, and Collision is live tomorrow with only
Zeno
Mystico
Hour.
and Beast Mortos announced as part of the show.
Zeno Hour has a big hot take here.
This isn't a super duper hot take, but
Wow.
Zeno is saying I have the
Why
hottest
are you burying the top weeder?
because this is, first of all, he's a top weeder until someone else comes and beats him.
Okay, but that's still another 3 weeks.
Well, anyway, Darby Allin wins a Casino Gauntlet, cashes in after Moxley beats Hangman. This has been bandied about by multiple people that I've seen. I don't think the Casino Gauntlet is a cash-in this time. I think that was only last year. I think this year it was a future opportunity. You could change it, but from what we were told, it's not looking like they're going to do that again.
Who told us this?
This was ongoing from when they announced the match. People were like, "Oh no, not the Christian Cage thing again." And then I did hear that it wasn't going to be one of those again.
From who?
From Bryan Danielson.
All right. Well,
Things could change. This was when the announcement was made.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I heard from an on-the-record public source.
Is this the same guy who also told you that the International Championship and the Continental titles were not being split? They were just being given the opportunity to have 3 titles on around their waist?
No, I was right about that, by the way. MJF says it's a cash-in. MJF, when doing the media rounds, said when he wins, if Jon Moxley wins, he's going to cash in on Jon Moxley. But if Hangman Page wins, he might take his time with things. So MJF believes it's a cash-in, or he is selling it like it's a cash-in. Does that mean it will be? Maybe, maybe not. But MJF, while making the media rounds, is selling it like it's cash-in.
I think MJF is just trying to get his own narrative out there.
Sure,
That
but
son of a bitch.
that's what he's putting out there, and that's what I'm going based off of instead of whatever you're basing things off of.
All right. Well, we will see.
If only we had a media call to ask Tony Khan how this Casino Gauntlet works.
By the way, I am not debating whether or not MJF said that. I don't want anyone to suddenly be like, "Oh, he didn't think that MJF." I think that MJF said that. Believe me, there are enough people who have said MJF said things that they didn't actually say. This is one thing I do believe that MJF did in fact say in his interviews. But we'll see. Again, if they're doing the cash in again, I don't love it. I thought it was stupid with Christian. Most people did too. I think I'd rather just do a you won and you get the match at this date as set by Tony Khan or whoever's controlling the company, the fans, if the Young Bucks lose.
See, they didn't announce that. It just said they get a title shot. They didn't
Yes.
say like they get a title shot at All Out.
No, I understand that, but they've done that before where they haven't said when it is. They just said it's a title shot.
Sure, but I think that's kind of
We'll see if they clear it up. Now it's just semantics.
well, it's not semantics. I think it's smart if it's gonna be you get a title shot at this date to announce the date. Like this is one thing WWE actually does very well is, hey, you win King of the Ring, you get your title shot at SummerSlam. Hey, you win this Battle Royal, you get your title shot at Clash in Paris. Like they do a good job of saying when the title shot is going to happen. That's something if AEW is doing it, you get a title shot on this date, that's something they should clarify. And typically they do a decent job with that. Like when it's a tournament, it's like, hey, you get your title shot here, or whatever it might be. The title match is here. Typically they do a good job of that. The fact that they haven't done that with this makes me believe it's cash in.
Well, we'll find out soon enough once they make the official announcement as to what this is. Calling for a truce with SP3. You got heat with me because I don't think your Darby Allin theory is a good one. I've got people online complaining that if Hangman loses, it's promotional malpractice, blah blah blah.
It is.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I just don't. I get it. Y'all want to be happy. Y'all want the big moment. Sometimes Monday Night Raw happens and it's the Empire Strikes Back.
It's been the Empire Strikes Back for months now.
Let the Empire strike one last time, baby. And then you go to Bizarro World, and that's where the Empire topples.
People are gonna be really upset if Hangman wins or Hangman loses, and they should be.
I think that's okay. I think people should be upset. You gotta take them for a ride, I wish people would just watch the show and enjoy it more. Because if they just watch it and enjoy it more, then maybe they wouldn't be so upset when they go on the internet and things don't really go their way. Right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I got nothing else. I'm still wondering when they're going to do Blood and Guts at this point.
Never.
Hell yeah. They should do Blood and Guts inside 2300 Arena. That's what they should do. Oh, man. And do it in London, Ontario before All Out. Do it in your backyard.
We got space, honestly. I can pull that off.
Oh, look at Moneybags over here. Got a space for wrestling rings and 2 wrestling rings and a stick in a cage.
Yeah, maybe.
Go outside, take the tape measure. Let's find out.
No, I know about how much land we have. It's not level is a thing. Like it's kind of sloped, so it'd be a little awkward, but we could pull it off.
SP3 knows well and good that I'm trying to find the night of Saturday night in which Jon Moxley and Goldberg are the world champions of their respective companies, and John Cena as well. That's all we're trying to do here. It's not about failures. It's not about bad decisions. It's just about doing things for lulz. That's what America's based on, baby. Doing it for the lulz.
Look at the state we're in.
Look at the state y'all are in. Yeah. Doing it for the lulz.
That sucks.
Anything to promote before we get on out of here?
Never. Thank you again to Blake Christian for joining us. I hope he wins all the titles this weekend. And that's all.
He's going to come in and win the Casino Gauntlet, cash in on Jon Moxley.
It's not a cash in, Joel.
That's right. It's not a cash in. That's why I left it hanging in the air.
Okay.
He's going to cash in, allegedly. But we'll find out. We're going to find out he can't actually cash it in, but he thinks he can because no one ever clarified it. That's the way it should go. He comes running out with the chip and he's just like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And they're like, it's not a cash in. We just tell you when it's happening.
It's just cash in anyway.
He just tries to cash in. Yeah. He pins Moxley. He thinks he wins the title when really he just laid on top of Moxley for a count of 3. Oh God. Go watch Dynamite or don't. I don't care what you do tomorrow or tonight. But we're back tomorrow. Jeremy and SB3, 10 a.m. Eastern, talking about God knows what, but it'll be around. For him, for me, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, leave your thumbs up on the way out and your comments as well. We'll see you in the next one.